I'm alive. It's 2020, and in Japan, in about 3 hours and 45 minutes, it's gonna be 2021. We always gotta be there first. We're the land of the rising sun, so like, we gotta live up to our name. I just want to go through my year, and kind of like show some of the highlights. Meaning, I'm going to look at photos and then talk about them. Um, and Yeah, I'm gonna say this a lot, but it's been a weird year, and you already know that. So anyway, let's move on. January, it was cold, and I was playing a lot of video games, Mario Kart and Sayonara Wild Heart. And at the end of the month, we had like a ski resort weekend with a bunch of the English teachers in Japan, and it was just so fun to go snowshoeing. A lot of people went snowboarding. I stayed in the lodge and just kind of stayed toasty, was like talking to my friends. So that was such a nice weekend. Um, and then what else? Yeah, so first week of February, that's when winter depression hit. And I won't go into detail, but it was hard. It was freaking hard. and Yeah, I'm so glad I've got my friends in my life. I'm so glad that there are tools that I can use to kind of spring back. But that was it hit me harder than it's ever hit me. Um, it was partly winter sucks, and it's the third time I'm going through it, so it's like wearing me down. And then part of it was I was still planning to go back to America, so thinking, well, what am I going to do in the real world? What kind of jobs and skills can I bring to the real world? I have to be an adult, not just an otona, an adult in Japan, but to become an adult in America, which has all of like, for example, working in Japan, I know my role, I'm the English teacher, I bring my American perspective, I'm like a fresh set of eyes. That's very refreshing for people. And I know because of my unique skills and kind of scarce skills in Japan, that gives me power and that gives me a job to do and responsibility, and it's so easy. But then going back to America with these same skills, like speaking English and being American, those are not two vitally important skills to have in America as they are in Japan. So, yeah, existential crisis hit, and I had to change some things. I was very resourceful, and just did whatever I needed to feel comfortable. And that's when friends reached out. Even one of my teachers at the school, uh, she like took the courage to say, "I'm sorry if you're busy, but tomorrow's a holiday. Would you like to come to dinner with me and my husband?" And like, this was such a blessing because that whole weekend, that was right after the Jet After Work conference, and I was even more stressing about what I was going to become, when I grow up, when I go back to America to do a job. And just to have people who cared and saw that maybe they didn't even know that I was depressed, but just to reach out, that made the difference, you guys. Um, you see somebody, I don't know, you got a chance, you got an opportunity to connect, and I think it makes all the difference. So I'm just so thankful. They took me out to lunch. Oh, it was so good. It was making my mouth water just thinking about it. It just turned my winter around, and I was able to kind of climb back up again. So that was a key part of my year. And then there's a photo of me on the bunny slopes because in February we take all of the first graders to the ski lodge, and everybody slides down. It's basically like a plastic manhole cover, and you just slide down. And there's a beautiful photo of me where I'm sliding down, and there's like snow going everywhere, and it's just a ball. It was just such a great symbol of accomplishing winter and doing winter my way, and giving myself a break. Um, yeah, I changed my whole kind of living room, bedroom apparatus to kind of freshen it up. I brought out my summertime plants, the fake plants that make me feel like it's spring already. It was the middle of February, but you got to do what you got to do to feel like spring is coming. And yeah, that made a big difference for me. And then in March, I remember it was March 11th, walking into my cold, cold kitchen, but looking over, the sunlight was shining through. The sun, the sunlight was shining through. It meant the world to me. I fell to my knees, just like, not crying, but like shouting, like, yes, 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 spring will come. It was the brightest it was the brightest day of 2020 to go into my kitchen and see the light shining through my kitchen window. It was, makes a difference, y'all. And then went to dinner with my friends back before coronavirus was hitting Japan badly. And then saying goodbye to my teacher, Dan Sensei. And from there, around from April, I started playing more, not social distance, what's it called? Like Discord and other games like that to connect with my friends and playing Jackbox or, connecting over Animal Crossing. So that was really fun. And to try to find resourceful ways to connect in a crazy year like 2020, it was much needed, and I had a lot of fun. And video calls was really nice in April. And then in April, I had my second colonoscopy, and I knew what to expect, and I did it. I can't believe it was only my second. I'm like a pro now. It's just like, all right, pill, pill. I'll let you use your imagination, but pill. And then time for colonoscopy. I can laugh about it now, but when I first heard about it, I was so scared. I didn't know, when I first heard about it 2 years ago, I didn't know that if I would wake up in the middle of it or if I'm gonna like throw up or I was very nervous about it 2 years ago. And now, I mean, it's not pleasant to go to the bathroom that often for the test, but sorry to get so graphic, but um, now I'm pro. So that was an accomplishment for sure. And then I got on my maskcapades. So for the whole month of March, if I would go to school or take vacation time, I would just go to school and pick up one of the provided paper masks and wear it. That was when I got the culture shock of many Japanese people had stocked up on paper masks so that they could wear them indefinitely throughout the pandemic. And I had just been using those because by the time I had heard that we needed to stock up on masks, it was already over, meaning places were sold out of masks. And I just figured, well, I mean, it's a school, so they must have dozens and dozens of hundreds of boxes for people to use masks. And if I don't have a mask and you want me to wear a mask, like you should provide a mask, right? But that was the culture shock of, so this isn't going to be over in a couple weeks. We all need to be wearing reusable masks. There's no reason to wear a paper mask unless you left your cloth one at home. So I started making cloth masks out of napkins and I'm sorry, wool out of like cloth napkins and paper and cloth tea towels and stuff. And like this one, it's made out of a pillowcase. So I just got on the, just started pounding out masks and uh, it worked for me and it made me feel like I was in control. I learned a lot and I was able to express my personality through my masks. So I like that. And I also felt like I was supporting Japan and supporting the world and contributing because I was no longer using disposable paper masks. At this point, you don't, I mean, we should all have enough cloth masks or reusable masks to last us for a long time. We've had a whole year or, at least 10 months to either purchase or make our own reusable masks. I kind of disagree with using paper masks, but I see them all the time here. Anyway, that's complaining. This is about the new year and more Discord. I told so many funny stories and made my friends laugh. I'm so glad that a lot of my nerdy friends are night owls, so we could have like late night Discord chats and video calls and just recounting old stories from college. Like I won't go into detail, but somebody at our school asked a really embarrassing question, and then those of us who were remembering this really funny story couldn't remember who said it. And it was just so funny to just be friends and have that kind of banter. That's something not only we didn't get in 2020 because of, having to be restrict socially, but also living in Japan, I don't get a lot of chances to catch up, or to connect with English speakers. So that was awesome. Animal Crossing had a big part of this year going into May. Uh, it was still kind of cold in May, and that sucked, but it was green and glorious. So that to me, I'd much rather have it green, glorious, and sunny and cold than not so cold but cloudy and gross. So I've learned about myself. I'm a Florida boy. I need sunshine for my life. And then just beautiful paths I took photos of. And then my apartment living room, just doing laundry. It's bathed in green. So many tea lights and so many um, green themes. That's the name of the game. I've got to have my green to feel safe. And then in June, we had our usual annual X-ray at the school. They have a little X-ray bus that comes by, and you get your X-ray. And the doctor said, "Oh, you might have like cancer here. We see something here. It might be cancer. So just letting you know." And before I launched like a cancer scare um, to it and mention it to anybody, I scheduled an appointment to get a real X-ray or another X-ray. Um, and thank God, um, it was just an error on the previous X-ray. I got a really detailed one that takes a little while, and here I am smiling as I'm going into the little. It's not one of the tubes you go into. It's actually like a ring that goes over you. It kind of like creates a tube functionally, but it's hard to describe. But thank God I don't have cancer in my lungs. But that was really scary. um, just the joy of coming home from school and eating my big slice of bread that's made with bean paste inside with a thing of milk. That was my afternoon snack. Here I am smiling as it's June or July. And I'm on my way to my direct hire interview. I kind of rehearsed my answers, talked about my skill set, talked about my favorite experiences. I printed out some photos in case they wanted to see me with sharing my experience with my kids. Like I was ready for that interview, and I aced it, and it was awesome. And I got the job. Thank goodness. I got a new contract to stay in Japan till July. So pretty cool, huh? I did that in the span of like 2 weeks. So yeah, a lot of this year was touch and go, and from February till May, I had said I wanted to end my previous contract and go back to America, but quickly I learned that I wanted to stay in Japan, but my previous job wasn't going to offer a new contract, so I had to scramble to find something else. Luckily, I was able to. Um, so in July, um, my friend recommended Frozen 2 to me. I hadn't seen it. It came out the previous Christmas season, but I hadn't seen it yet, and I watched it and I cried, and then I watched it the next day and I cried. Oh man, so many themes. And I hadn't seen a movie in what, 7 months? 7 months and 20 days. Because I catch up on all my movies when I'm on the airplane back to America each year when I go home for Christmas. I watch all the movies that came out that year. So, um, Frozen 2, it wasn't available on the airplane. So I was able to watch it, here. So I cried. Animal Crossing. Saying goodbye to my students in July. And being able to share my musical talents with my students. So meaningful to show how much I care through my music. And then here I am, August 2nd. Once, at that point, my contract was up, and I was just, going for my daily walks around the little farm town and just thinking and dreaming and wondering. And at that point, I had secured the job, so I was just kind of waiting for the big move to go to my next city. That was kind of a magical time. It was a good time. Hmm. Saying goodbye to that apartment, saying goodbye to my friends. Oh, and by the way, in August, I lost my wallet and all my documents, all my cards, and about $1,500 worth of cash. If that wasn't a point that made me think everything is wrong in the world, I mean, the pandemic, obviously, um, racial inequality protests, obviously, but then when it became personal, in my own realm, in my own neighborhood, of me losing all of my documents, and basically, I'm an American citizen. So if I lose my documents in America, it's easier for me to prove my identity because I'm literally a citizen. There's a record of me. Um, yeah. But in Japan, without my documents, I kind of don't exist. So that was particularly scary because I lost my passport, my driver's license, my citizen's card, my town card, my banking cards, driver's license. Yeah, everything that had proof that I exist was gone, including my money. And I couldn't drive because I didn't have a license, and you can't get around easily in my town without that. So anyway, I was thankful that even though I lost everything, I was able to get it back, and that was a huge challenge, and good on you, Sean, for doing it. I wouldn't want to do that again, but my friends took me out for American Italian food, which was nice. And then there's a snapshot of my first week or so at the new school, and my high school students. I didn't know how they would react to me, but I made this activity where I told a story in English phrases, and they had to kind of understand what I'm saying in English and then draw a storyboard. And the storyboard that this one group did is it's cute, but it's not that impressive. But the group name was We Love Sean. When you're a teacher, you get it. When you're a teacher, this kind of stuff is like, melt. Because there's a language barrier, and because they only see me once a week, and because I was new to this environment and still kind of shaken from moving and from so many new adjustments, it really meant a lot that my students went out of their way to show, like, "Hey, we think you're cool." That was so awesome. A highlight of the year for sure. I order Halloween stuff for me, and my friend Masami brought Halloween pumpkin spice snacks and stuff for me, which made all the difference. My friend Henry helped me move originally, like helped me move all my crap into my apartment, and then we couldn't move the bed up there because it was too bulky. And I said, please, come over later on. And then we tried a couple weeks later. Just come over and see if we can just try it again before I have to dispose of this bed. I want to make sure, and we could take the bed apart. It was as easy as that. And now I've got a beautiful bed in my bedroom. I can sleep in my bedroom now. That's great. There was a Halloween get together through Skype, and we had to make costumes and stuff. That was cute. Oh, and I got a care package from my friend Shannon. I got a couple from her, and um, I'm just looking at it right now. It's special. And then, yeah, different adventures with Henry. Like, especially, this was November 5th in Japan, which was November 4th in America. And I was just looking at the stats, trying to see, what the result would be. And I was real stressed out about it. I mean, either way, we have a weird storm brewing in America right now. I'm not going to get into it. This is about the new year. This is about joy. But I was feeling real down. And then my friend Henry saw that I was down and kind of, what do you say, talk you off a cliff? I wasn't on a cliff. I'm doing okay. But I was definitely upset. And just to have someone to kind of vent to was really, really nice. So, yeah. In September, I went to go see my friends in southern Japan. It was real nice. I got to see her baby and her family and just get Christmassy. It was November 8th, but November 8th, I think. Um, but I was getting Christmassy because they already were selling gingerbread latte at Starbucks, and they had Starbucks. That's very American if you live in Japan. And from October to November, I was painting my living room, and it's gorgeous. I mean, well, you can barely see, but this color is like a silver gray. Uh, Gorgeous, especially compared to the drabby sandpaper, literally sandpaper that was my wallpaper before. And then November 18th, I watched Over the Moon on Netflix. Do you want to cry? Do you want to? Because you will. Oh, either Frozen 2 and this movie, well, I think they're quite similar. They're both in the vein of Disney musical. Um, crying. So good. I think I need to watch more movies to desensitize myself, but at the same time, I want it to always hit, you know? Um, I love crying and just releasing emotional release watching movies. But I don't watch movies often. I think it's too exhausting. But every once in a while, it's just so good it hits that spot. And then November 20th, I hadn't really been spending money on anything because I've been staying home so much. I mean, that's not a flex. I'm not flexing to make people feel bad. What I'm saying is because I had been doing nothing, I had some money to buy myself the iPhone 12 mini. Oh, you can see. Thank you for well, actually, okay, it doesn't have any weird information. Just making sure it doesn't have my address on it or something, that I'm not sharing my personal information accidentally. So anyway, yeah, I ordered the phone and I was so nervous that something would happen to it, en route. But my friend John shipped it for me instantly. Like it showed up at his house and then he went to post it. So it was like still hot. Not literally, but you know what I mean? Like fresh off the presses. And then came straight to me. So wonderful. You gotta have friends, you guys. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my friends. All my friends have helped me this year. All of them. It was you can to get through a year, especially 2020, especially abroad, especially in a different time zone without your friends. This was a year for friends. Even though statistically, like, I didn't get to see my friends very much, but those times that I did makes the difference, yo. So just different Christmas memories and sharing my music safely uh, through videos and stuff. It was a good year, y'all. And then I had received some bad news in late December, and it was weighing heavy on my heart, but I was able to share it, and that meant a lot too. I've learned about myself that even though I am introverted, I need social interaction. So I think for my extroverted friends, they probably react much more adversely to the pandemic and isolation than I would because I mean isolation is what I want like 70% of the time and then 30%, thrill, stimulation and excitement, go do something. But most of the time I want to stay home, eat lunch, do laundry and do dishes and like listen to podcasts. Um but having friends makes a difference. What else I learned about myself? I learned that I sometimes feel too guilty or too I feel like it's imposing for me to vent or to share my burdens and fears, but that's what friends are for. Like your friendship gets stronger and your friend actually gets this little flush of, wow, I'm being a good friend to my friend. I guess I thought that being a good friend meant never putting the burden on others. But a friend means let's play volleyball. Like let's share our struggles so that we can build each other up. Everybody's waiting for me to share, and I didn't know it. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it. There's a mental block there, you know. So many of my friends have said, if you ever need to talk, go ahead. But if you don't feel, yeah, there's a mental block. So I think 2021 is the year where I'm going to ask for help, um, and ask to vent and really connect with my people. My goals for this next year, um, continue to strengthen my like resume and my working skills and how to market myself because the job market's changing and I'm really thinking about the job because I'm 33. This is my resurrection year. I need like I'm wanting to start the get a stable job, get a stable home, have a relationship, have a dog, the quadrecta, syncrecta, not the trifecta, but the shrinshrecta. You know what I mean? And I can't do that in Japan? Question mark. It's hard to have a dog in Japan. Uh, so I really want to get a job, especially if it's telework or in a very controlled environment. Get a job in America, or if I can like continue doing music in Japan, that could be really cool hobby or side thing. But the thing that matters in life, and this is a really long video, but is doing the thing that gives you purpose with the people who recognize that in you. And so there are a few things missing, right? The purpose and the people. When I mean physically, 7,000 miles is literally quite far away. So I'm just thankful for my friends who I can communicate with, even when I'm 7,000 miles away. 2020, I mean, here's the deal. For 2019, I could have easily said, like, man, it was a good year. I can't wait for the next year. 2018, oh, it was a good year. 2017, it was good. I knew what all the great things were, and there was hope for the future. 2020, you have to really sit in it and sit with your thought before you can say, it was a good year. It was a good year. Um, it was quite a year. So it was quite a year. We gotta have hope. Gotta have hope. That was the difference between Captain St. Stalwart, Captain Strachow. No, it looks like Strachow. Strawcut. Strawcut. The captain who who was trapped in Antarctica, and he was waiting for a long time, but he led his crew to stay positive and stay hopeful, and that was how they got through, and that's how they got rescued. Strong. Oh, actually, no, I couldn't find it. Strong chaw. But anyway, hope is the difference between being here next year or not. We gotta have hope. I say this crossing my fingers. It couldn't get any worse. It can. Let's prevent it. Let's be prudent this year. Let's be prudent this year. I didn't go see my friend in Japan because I needed to be prudent. I needed to take my own advice so that I was keeping Japan safe. That's why I didn't go experience real Japanese New Year with my friend in Japan because we've got to be safe. If I'm putting limits on things in order for safety for the greater good, we all have to. And I'm preaching to the choir. Anybody watching this, you're being careful. Um, but I've got to practice what I preach and make sure that I'm doing everything I can. I can't control a lot of stuff. I can control my actions and my feelings, or at least my feelings about my actions. That's about it. So, with that sense of agency, I'm going to start the new year and have a good one. So, in Japan, we say, yo yo toshi o, like, have a happy new year. Happy New Year, guys. 2021, woohoo! Let's do it. Let's make it happen.